Welcome back to the Scripps Aviary at the San Diego Zoo. Today I'm going to share with you some of the fascinating stories of the feathery residents of the aviary so that you can get to know them a little better. If you enjoy their stories, let me know by hitting the like button and sharing this video with others. The great blue Turrico is a striking bird found in the rainforests of western and central Africa. It's renowned for its vibrant plumage, characterized by a brilliant turquoise blue body, a prominent crest on its head, and bold red and yellow markings on its wings. The great blue Turrico has a fascinating story that is intertwined with its natural habitat and behavior. The great blue Turrico is a relatively large bird, measuring about 70 centimeters in length, including its long tail feathers. It inhabits the dense forests and woodlands of the region, where it spends its time perched in the canopy, hopping between branches, and gliding effortlessly through the treetops. The birds are known for their distinctive call, which can be heard echoing through the forest. Their vocalizations consist of a variety of deep, guttural hoots and croaks, often performed in a series of repetitive patterns. Their calls are used for various purposes, such as communication within the flock, territorial defense, and courtship displays. The great blue Turrico is primarily a frugivorous bird, meaning it primarily feeds on fruits. Its diet consists of a wide variety of fruits, including figs, berries, and other tree fruits. It has a specialized digestive system that allows it to process these fruits efficiently. Breeding season for the great blue Turrico typically occurs from March to July. During this time, the birds engage in elaborate courtship displays to attract mates. These displays involve flapping their wings, hopping from branch to branch, and showcasing their colorful plumage. Once a pair is formed, they build a large nest made of sticks in the fork of a tree. The female usually lays 1 to 2 eggs, which are incubated by both parents for about 22 to 24 days. Through conservation efforts at the San Diego Zoo and around the world, it is hoped that this beautiful bird will continue to thrive in its natural habitat for future generations to appreciate. Sharing the aviary with the great blue Turrico is the southern bald ibis, a species native to southern Africa. The bird's most distinctive feature is its bald head, devoid of feathers, which gives it a unique appearance. Traditionally, the southern bald ibis was considered a sacred bird in some African cultures. It was believed to bring good fortune, and its presence was considered a sign of fertility and abundance. These beliefs protected the ibis from hunting and persecution in certain areas. However, as human populations expanded and landscapes changed, the southern bald ibis faced numerous challenges. Loss of habitat due to agriculture, urbanization, and climate change posed significant threats to the species. Additionally, the birds were affected by hunting, disturbance at breeding colonies, and pollution. Conservation organizations recognized the decline in southern bald ibis populations and initiated efforts to protect the species. These initiatives included habitat restoration, the establishment of protected areas, and raising awareness among local communities about the importance of conserving the ibis and its habitat. These birds are social and form breeding colonies during the breeding season, which is usually between September and February. Breeding pairs of southern bald ibis build large nests on cliffs or tall trees, laying 1 to 3 eggs. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs and raising the chicks. The ibis feeds primarily on insects, small reptiles, amphibians, and other small animals, using its long, curved beak to probe the ground for prey. Amongst the smaller birds in the aviary is the purple starling, or purple glossy starling. This is a bird species that inhabits a variety of woodlands, savanna, and scrubland in the west to east belt of tropical Africa. The purple starling is a gregarious species often found in flocks, sometimes including other species of starling. Along with multiple species of doves, the starlings are amongst the most ubiquitous birds in the Scripps Aviary. The purple starling has a stocky body and short tail. They have a metallic purple head and body and glossy green wings. Most striking are their large yellow-orange eyes. The species is omnivorous, eating both insects and fruit. They can be found frequently eating out of one of the several feeding bowls along the walking paths of the aviary, not shying away from people passing by. The mating season for these shiny birds starts in February and lasts for a few months into May. They prefer to live inside a hole, like the cavities in a tree or the one in this treehouse, where they build their nests and lay up to 3 eggs per year. This purple starling pair appear to be bringing food home to feed their young. The mainland African darter, also known as the African snakebird, is a species found in sub-Saharan Africa. At the Scripps Aviary, it can typically be found in or near the pond by the upper aviary entrance. The African darter is known for its distinctive long neck and slender body. It's an expert swimmer and diver, often seen swimming with only its head and neck above the water, earning its name, the snakebird. These birds are skilled fishermen, using their sharp beak to catch fish underwater. The African darter has a unique adaptation in its feathers. The feathers of the African darter lack the waterproofing oils that are commonly found in the feathers of other water birds, such as ducks or geese. This lack of oil allows the feathers of the African darter to become wetted more easily and helps the birds to dive and swim underwater more effectively. When the African darter emerges from the water, its wet feathers help reduce buoyancy, allowing it to swim more easily and dive back into the water. After diving, the bird will often perch on a branch or a rock with its wings spread wide, using the sun and air to dry its feathers and restore buoyancy. During this drying process, the feathers regain their insulating and waterproofing properties. The African spoonbill is a species of bird that is primarily found in sub-Saharan Africa, although it has also been sighted in parts of southern Europe and Asia. The African spoonbill is named after its distinctive spoon-shaped bill, which is long, flat, and broadened at the tip. The bill is used for foraging in shallow waters, where the bird sweeps its bill from side to side, filtering out small aquatic invertebrates, fish, and amphibians as it moves. African spoonbills inhabit various wetland habitats, including marshes, swamps, estuaries, and shallow lakes. They are social birds and often form breeding colonies with other waterbird species, including herons, egrets, and ibises. During the breeding season, which typically occurs between November and February, African spoonbills engage in elaborate courtship displays. Males perform a series of aerial displays, including wing flapping and bill clattering, to attract females. Once a pair is formed, they build a nest together, usually in the trees or shrubs near water. The nest is a platform made of sticks and vegetation, where the female lays a clutch of 2 to 4 eggs. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs, which hatch after about 3 weeks. Often hanging out with the African spoonbill and southern bald ibis, in the upper aviary pond is the African OpenBill Stork. This stork is the largest of the birds in the Scripps Aviary. The species inhabits the vast wetlands, marshes, and floodplains of sub-Saharan Africa. The stork derives its name from the open gap between its upper and lower mandibles, which meet only at the tip, not in the middle. This adaptation is now felt to serve the purpose of creating a space to carry snails and mollusks, the stork's preferred diet. In the Scripps Aviary, the open bills are most frequently seen in pairs, perched high up in the canopy or wading in the upper pond. Their size and iridescent black feathers make them hard to miss when they're not hiding out in the less accessible parts of the aviary. On my most recent visit to the aviary, I was thrilled to see the return of the WhiteCrowned Lapwing, which had been off habitat for a long time, so long that they had removed its picture from the photo roster of the aviary residents. It's been years since the last time I saw the bird in the aviary. For some of the shyer aviary birds, you could be led to believe that their lack of presence was due to their staying away from the more visible sections of the aviary. However, since this lapwing was so underfoot that I barely avoided stepping on it, I can presume it was just recently returned to the aviary. The white-crowned lapwing is a remarkable appearing bird, with a brown back, gray head, and black and white patterned body. Its most noticeable feature is the bright yellow wattle, resembling a Fu Manchu mustache. The lapwing is a wader, resident throughout tropical Africa, usually close to large rivers. The bird's diet consists mainly of insects and other invertebrates. It has an extremely large range in the wild, with a stable and thriving population. So fortunately, this bird is not one on the list of vulnerable species. One of the smallest but most abundant birds in the Scripps Aviary is the Tawny Weaver. These birds originate in the Taveta region of East Africa, around Kenya. They share the aviary with 2 other species of weaver that also originate in and around Kenya, the Rhickenose weaver and the white-headed buffalo weaver. While you will see the tavetia weavers all over, unlike the white-crowned lapwing, the weavers are a bit skittish and will quickly dart away if you approach. The tavetia weaver really earns its name, weaving intricate spherical nests which are marvels of engineering. These nests are carefully woven by the male and traditionally made of blades of grass, palm fibers, and other plant materials. Female weavers choose their mate solely based on the quality of the nest, so males can't fall back on their good looks and personality. If their nest isn't up to snuff to land a mate, the male weaver will have to start from scratch and hopefully build a nest to impress. The nests hang upside down with the circular entrance at the bottom. The weavers often build their nests in colonies like the one seen here, creating a buzzing community which often welcomes other bird species that utilize the nests built by the weavers. One of the other weavers sharing the colony with the tavetia weaver is the Tawny Weaver. These weavers can be distinguished by their distinctive black mask and black streaks on their feathers. This Tawny Weaver takes time out for a bath in the stream that flows from the upper aviary pool, cascading down a waterfall to the lower aviary. A third weaver species in the aviary that travels in smaller packs of 3 to 6 is the white-headed buffalo weaver. These birds received their name based on their habit of following the African buffalo. Unlike the tavetia weaver, the buffalo weaver does not build intricately woven nests. Instead, they build equally impressive nests built from pushing together hard materials like twigs. Their nests can often have multiple rooms, unlike the impressive but tiny one-room studios built by the tavetia weavers.